Your alarm screams at the same minute it screamed yesterday. Your feet hit the floorboards with the same dull thud. But this time, you'll have a primal revulsion. The same coffee, the same route, the same script etched into your cells. You are living a recording, not a life. And Nietzsche's whisper cuts through the noise. What if you had to relive this day, every day, for eternity? The loop is tightening. Can you feel it? You tell yourself you'll do it tomorrow. Then you watch episode after episode while the draft sits on the desk. You force a polite laugh at the joke and feel your throat go tight. The line you wanted to speak dies behind your teeth. It's not a failure of will, it's fear of what you might lose. Fear of the heat required to forge who you could be. Sociologists call it the consensus trance. Nietzsche called it herd poison. Each repetition carves deeper grooves until your soul's terrain is flattened. One decade bleeds into the next. You trade legacy for comfort, and comfort calcifies into regret. The loop demands payment. 60,000 sunrises, the same sunrises. How many identical sunrises can one life hold? Picture Nietzsche at 34, alone in the Swiss Alps. Chronic pain, betrayed by friends, writing in a cabin where the wind howled like the ghost of mediocrity. Here, he conceived the ultimate litmus test, eternal recurrence. A single question to expose every self-betrayal. What if a demon told you this life would repeat infinitely? Every joy, every compromise. Would you curse him or kneel in gratitude? You've been conditioned to avoid that question, taught to choose safety, which really means choosing insignificance. So you now reach for distraction when purpose calls. Reframe the reflex. It's not instinct, it's a vote. A vote for a life you'd gladly relive, or one you're already fleeing. The loop was never your cage, it's your rehearsal. The loop isn't fate, it's friction. A grinding wheel polishing your soul into something diamond hard or dust. To break it, you don't need motivation, you need a litmus test. Eternal recurrence is Nietzsche's acid for the soul. If every action, every compromise, every moment of cowardice or courage were to repeat infinitely, would your life be a masterpiece or a prison? 3 principles fracture the illusion of someday. First principle, the litmus of infinite weight. Every trivial choice becomes eternal when multiplied by infinity. Skipping the gym? Just one day becomes 10,000 identical days. This is psychological leverage. Humans undervalue small actions. Eternal recurrence weaponizes scale. Should I work late again, or start working on my priorities? The answer reveals whether you're building a cathedral or a coffin. Second principle, Amor Fati, love of fate. Not passive acceptance, true ownership. Nietzsche's own words. My formula for greatness is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different. This isn't resignation. It's the alchemy of turning pain into power. Viktor Frankl's Auschwitz journals prove it. Prisoners who found meaning in suffering survived longer. Your traffic jam isn't an interruption, it's raw material. Will you curse it or sculpt it? Third principle, the will to power. Misunderstood as domination, will to power is the drive to surpass your current self. Like a plant that cracks concrete to reach light. You either grow toward your potential or atrophy into convenience. Modern research confirms Harvard's adult development study found lifelong growth, not wealth or fame, correlates with life satisfaction. Do I scroll or study Arabic? The answer determines if you're a predator of potential or prey to algorithms. Understanding this rewires your nervous system. It turns regret into rocket fuel. Early morning. The alarm goes off, and your first thought isn't motivation, it's bargaining. 5 more minutes. Your chest feels heavy, your mouth dry, and there's a dull resentment before your feet even touch the floor. You know how this goes. Snooze, rush. Another day where everything feels slightly behind. Instead of trying to win the morning, do something smaller. Sit on the edge of the bed. Write 3 plain sentences about what would make today feel honest, not impressive. Not productive, just honest. Something shifts. Your breathing slows. The day stops feeling like something that's already gone wrong before it starts. At work, the moment doesn't announce itself. It sneaks in. Someone says something that makes your stomach tighten. A joke, a comment, a shortcut that benefits you if you stay quiet. You feel the calculation kick in immediately. Is this worth it? Do I really want to be that person? Most days you smile and move on, and later you feel strangely tired for no clear reason. The alternative isn't confrontation, it's preparation. Decide beforehand what line you won't cross. 1 value, 1 sentence you're willing to stand behind if needed. When the moment comes, you don't escalate. You just don't disappear. And afterward, the relief is physical. You walk out feeling taller, not because you won, but because you didn't fold. Late at night, the house is quiet, and you're exhausted in that specific way that isn't solved by sleep. You open your phone without thinking. 1 video turns into 5. The scrolling isn't even enjoyable, it's just numbing. You feel restless and full at the same time. Instead of treating this as a discipline failure, treat it like a signal. Give yourself 1 small task that takes less than 10 minutes, and finish it. When you put the phone down afterward, the hunger is different. Not gone, but aimed. You don't feel inspired. You feel settled, and that's enough to end the night without regret. Ask yourself whether any choice is something you would choose to repeat as a meaningful chapter of your life. Convert someday into a 1-sentence plan you can start within the hour. See discomfort as information, not failure. It signals a boundary worth testing. Notice where your body tightens. Chronic tension is data about unclaimed preferences. Create 1 small thing each day that only you could have made. Use boredom as a gauge. If it persists, change the frame. If it dissolves, you are practicing. Stop asking permission to pursue value. Marcus Aurelius wrote Meditations in war camps. Nietzsche's migraines birthed Zarathustra. Your suffering isn't an obstacle, it's the signature of your legend. Conventional self-help fails here. It sells relief, not reverence. Pain avoidance creates smaller and smaller cages. The highest risk move is this. Choose to test whether your hardest moments, loss, failure, public refusal, produce a truer identity than your comforts ever could. Consider a concrete example. You lose a job, and your first reflex is the checklist. Network, courses, restructure. Those are useful moves, but they often aim to erase the rupture rather than read it. Instead, try asking whether this rupture contains a shape of your life you were avoiding. If the answer is yes, treat the loss as raw material. Make a sketch. Start a small public project. Tell 1 honest story about it. Conventional tactics fail when they only restore the old safety net. They miss the chance to redirect momentum. So the dare is simple. For the next hour, act in a way that would make sense If you had to live this hour again every day for a year, notice what you protect and what you discard. Your responses accumulate. The smallest repeated choice becomes the architecture of character. Now translate that architecture into a short experiment. The experiment is called the Eternal Hour Protocol and runs for 48 hours. For the duration, you will treat every decision as data. Your rules are these. Rule 1. Before any decision, large or small, pause and ask, would I relive this moment infinitely? Rule 2. Write one sentence recording the choice and why you made it. Did you choose legacy over comfort? Rule 3. Share one honest observation with a trusted person or a private note, and replace maybe tomorrow with one specific next action you can complete within 1 hour. Socially, others will notice you as calmer but more decisive. Internally, you'll feel a steady tension ease into focused curiosity. The payoff is that your default query shifts from "will this hurt?" to "will this matter?" After 48 hours, imagine the changed baseline. Small acts feel weighty by design, not accident. You notice where your integrity bends and where it holds. The core benefit is clearer priorities and an easier no when appropriate. Make one daily habit. Each morning, write 3 lines that define the single meaningful thing you will protect that day. No drama, no second guessing. Just the quiet certainty of someone who knows life is too valuable to auction. The benefit is simple. Clarity becomes your compass. You begin choosing hours you would gladly live again. Your legacy is shaped today. The test is leave. Action matters because the loop resets at midnight, with or without your consent. Legends aren't born. They're forged in the furnace of conscious repetition.